against a backdrop of a map, an aerial photograph or the airspace. Swift S1 of the UK Swift Aerobatic Display Team at Kemble 2009 markings, so that ground-based observers may identify gliders in flight or in gliding competition. Registration marks, insignias or competition numbers or contest ID, are displayed in large characters on the underside of a single wing, and also on the fin and rudder. Registration marks are assigned by gliding associations such as the U.S. Soaring Society of America, and are unrelated to national registrations issued by entities such as the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration. 14. This need for visual ID has somewhat been supplanted by GPS position recording. Insignias are useful in two ways. First, they are used in radio communications between gliders as pilots use their competition number as their call signs. Secondly, to easily tell a glider's contest ID when flying in close proximity to one another to alert them of potential dangers. For example, during gatherings of multiple gliders within thermals, known as gaggles, one pilot might report 6-7 Romeo, I am right below you. Fiberglass gliders are invariably painted white to minimize their skin temperature in sunlight. Fiberglass resin loses strength as its temperature rises into the range achievable in direct sun on a hot day. Color is noticed except for a few small bright patches on wingtips. These patches, typically orange or red, improving a glider's visibility to pilots while in flight. Such patches are obligatory for mountain flying in France. 15. Non-fiberglass gliders made of aluminum or wood are not so subject to deterioration at higher temperatures and are often quite brightly painted. Comparison of types. There is sometimes confusion about gliders /sailplanes, hang gliders and paragliders. In particular, paragliders and hang gliders are both foot-launched. The main differences between the types are: paragliders, hang gliders, gliders /sailplanes, undercarriage, pilots' legs used for takeoff and landing, pilots' legs used for takeoff and landing, aircraft takes off and lands using or heeled undercarriage or skidswing structure, entirely flexible, with shape maintained purely by the pressure of air flowing into and overflowing in flight and the tension of the lines, generally flexible but supported on a rigid frame which determines its shape. Note that rigid wing hang gliders also exist, rigid wing surface which totally encases wing structure, pilot position sitting in a harness, usually lying prone in a cocoon-like harness suspended from the wing, seated and supine aerial possible sitting in a seat with a harness surrounded by a crash-resistant structure, speed range, stall speed, max speed. Slowest typically 25 to 60 km /h for recreational gliders, over 50 km requires use of speed bar. 16. Hence easier to launch and fly in light winds. Least wind penetration. Pitch variation can be achieved with the controls faster than paragliders, slower than gliders /sailplanes, maximum speed up to about 280 km /h. 170 miles per hour, winking sad smiley. 17. Stall speed typically 65 kilometers per hour, 40 miles per hour, winking sad smiley. 17. Able to fly in windy or turbulent conditions and can outrun bad weather. Good penetration into a headwind, maximum glide ratio about 10. Relatively poor glide performance makes long distance flights more difficult. Current. As of May 2017, world record is 564 kilometers, 350 mi, 18, about 17, with up to 24 rigid wings. Open class sailplanes typically around 61, but in more common 15-18 meter span aircraft, glider ratios are between 38:1 and 52:1. Winking sad smiley. 19. High glide performance enabling long-distance flight, with 3,000 kilometers, 1,900 mi, being current, as of November 2010, record, 20. Turn radius tightest turn radius at larger turn radius than paragliders tiger fan gliders /sailplane widest turn radius but still able to circle tightly in thermals. 21. Landing smallest space needed Toland, offering more landing options from across-country flights, also easiest to pack up and carry. Like a bag to thin wrist road 15 to 60 length flat area required, can be diriged by one person and carried to the nearest road landings can be performed in ~250 length field. Aerial retrieve may be possible but if not specialized trailer needed to retrieve by road. Some sailplanes have engines that remove the need for a nude landing. If successfully started on time, learning simplest and quickest to learn teaching is done in single two-seat hang gliders. Teaching is done in a two-seat glider with dual controls. Convenience packs smaller, easier to transport and store, more awkward to transport and store, longer to rig and de-rig. Often transported on the roof of a car, often stored and transported in purpose-built trailers about 9 meters long, from which they are rigged. Although rigging aids allow a single person to rig a glider, usually the rigging involves 2 or 3 people. Some frequently used sailplanes are listed already rigged in hangars. Cost of new is €1,500 and up. 22. Cheapest but shortest lasting. Around cost of new glider very high. Top off range 18 turbo with instruments and trailer €200,000. But it is long lasting, up to several 500 hours flying time depending on treatment. Active second-hand market. 23. Decades. So active second-hand market. Typical cost is from Euro 2,000 to Euro 145,000. 24. Competition classes. DG Flugzeugbau DG 1000 of the two-seater Class 8 competition classes of glider have been defined by the FAI. 25. They are standard class, no flaps, 15 wingspan, water ballast allowed. 15 meter class, flaps allowed, 15 wingspan, water ballast allowed. 18 meter class, flaps allowed, 18 wingspan, water ballast allowed. Open class, no restrictions except a limit of 850 kilograms fourth maximum all-up weight. Two-seater class, maximum wingspan of 20 also known by the German name Doppelsitzer. Club class, this class allows a wide range of older small gliders with different performance, so the scores have to be adjusted by handicapping. Water ballast is not allowed. World class. The FAI Gliding Commission, which is part of the FAI and an associated body called Organisation Scientifique Technique du Vol et Voile, OSTIV, announced a competition in 1989 for a low-cost glider, which had moderate performance, was easy to assemble and to handle, and was safe for low-hours pilots to fly. The winning design was announced in 1993 as the Warsaw Polytechnic PW5. This allows competitions to be run if only one type of glider. Ultralight class, for gliders with a maximum mass less than 220 kilograms. Major manufacturers. A large proportion of gliders have been and are still made in Germany. 26. The birthplace of the sport. In Germany there are several manufacturers, but the three principal companies are DG Flugzeugbau GmbH, Skempherth GmbH, Alexander Schleicher GmbH & Co. Germany also has Stem and Lang Aviation. Elsewhere in the world, there are other manufacturers such as Jonker Sailplanes in South Africa, Sport in Aviacija in Lithuania, All-Star PZL in Poland, Net Kunovici and HPH in the Czech Republic, and AMS Flight in Slovenia. 27. See also. Glider types. List of gliders. Military glider. History. Rundbosset Gesellschaft. Schweizer Brothers. Gliding as a sport. Gliding. gliding competition. Other unpowered aircraft rotor kite. Unpowered aircraft. Unpowered flying toys and models paper plane. Radio-controlled glider. Aviation portal references. FAA glider handbook. Definition of gliders used for sporting purposes in FAI sporting code.
Good. Let's stop the video and continue.